Hey folks, I'm H2 and you're on the F3 channel. Hey, thanks for joining me here today. Hey, so what I was thinking about here earlier was about when I was a kid and playing softball. And, as a kid, I was a runt of the group. I was very small, kind of a weakling, to tell you the truth. And so even if I got to play, it was more about people putting me on their team just to be nice, because I wasn't very much help to the team. But as you think about that, the whole game of softball, you're working as a team, and when it's your turn to get up to bat, the ball comes barreling down on you and you swing for the fences, hoping that you can make a connection. And if you don't strike out, much like I did, you get a base hit, or when you make that connection, you got to run as fast as you can to get to first base. And many times, we would get to first base, and if the guy behind you or the gal behind you didn't hit the ball hard enough or far enough, you wouldn't be able to get off first base. And so it was nothing more demoralizing than to have the bases loaded and then get the third out, and it was all for nothing. And so as I thought about that particular game and what it took and how challenging it was, particularly when you're not that good, wealth building is kind of the same way. And what I mean by that is there are a number of bases that you have to get through in order to make a home run. And so if you get to first base and then get put out, that was for nothing. If you get to second base, get put out, that was for nothing. And the same thing goes with third base. Until your foot hits the home plate after you rounded all first, second, and third bases, that's when you get a score up on the board. And so what I want to offer up for you today is the F3 millionaire tip number 14, and that is I need you to put some runs on the board. And to do that, it's going to take 3 steps, or there's 3 key steps that you're going to have to do in order to put some runs up on the board. The first step is you got to acquire the right knowledge in order to succeed, and you do that by self-education. Formal education is great. It builds a certain discipline. However, formal education is not going to build wealth. It's not going to help you build wealth. That's going to require some self-education, specifically getting some specific information in order to help you along. Step number 2, or the key step number 2, is you got to go all in whatever you choose to do. So no matter whether it's real estate, business, education, whatever you decide to do, you're going to have to go all in. And why that is key is because you will never know where your weaknesses are if you're not all in. So if you're just kind of playing it safe, hitting, missing, skirting around the edges, no one knows what you need to do in order to strengthen up those weak areas in order to move ever so closer forward. So what I need you to do is to go all in on whatever you choose to do. Now, it may very well be, or it is very likely, that you're not going to stay with the same thing that you started with. But it's that mental discipline by going all in is where you're going to learn what you need to do in order to make a pivot from a known point. And then the third key step I need you to consider is to frequently assess whether you need to go back to step 1 or step 2. All right. Hey, I think that'll help you. I'm H2 and I'm signing off.